And just like that, the shovels fell silent. Everybody was so excited. Last week or two, they were going to continue to dig and dig until they got to that point where they heard that thump, thump, thump. And they could throw the shovel up out of the hole and they could brush all the dirt off and flip open that lid, hoping that they were going to see something that wasn't there. Of course, now being distracted by the current thing, the little dust-up, the White House between Zelensky and Trump and Vance, and everybody's so excited about that. Nobody cares. What happened to all the excitement about furious Pam Bondi that she wasn't given the truth, demanding Kash Patel get to that Southern District office of the New York office of the FBI and have them released? Nobody cares. Nobody cares. It's almost as if a whole bunch of rich billionaire guys heading off to the Caribbean where they could have some secret clandestine rolls in the hay with some teenage girls 20 years ago doesn't really affect anyone, does it? The sordid, nasty details of that doesn't matter. It's inquiring minds. It's the Inquirer. It's the Star. It's the grocery store gossip rag. And that's why nobody cares. But if you really are dead set on getting the details, the truth of it, join us. Florida Maquis Patreon channel. We're over there. Yesterday, breaking news alert, we put a brand new video up. And it's for everybody. The $2 level, 5, 10, 15. It's for everybody over there. And once you look at the facts, and once you look at the details, as sordid as they might be, it's going to tell you exactly what the story is. It's just lather, rinse, repeat. Once again, God bless all of you. Thank you who've joined us over there. Very much appreciate it. Huge influx of people yesterday, by the way. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. Had to open some folding chairs in the back of the atrium. We're, trying to build as fast as we can to include new people, even at all levels signed up yesterday. We had new brigade commanders. We had new Need to Know Roundtable folks. We had all sorts of people sign up. So once again, fully refundable. First 90 days, no questions asked. God bless. Thank you so much. Hundreds and hundreds of videos on topics ranging going back years and years and years. But let's get right to it. 2.5 minutes, let's get to it. Breaking. Epstein victim says there are tapes of Donald Trump, in fact, having happy time with many girls, recorded by Mr. Epstein himself. You see, that's what really got this. Why is nobody saying thank you, Hillary Clinton? Florida Monkey, I can't believe you just... You see, you do remember it was Hillary Clinton that dug this up. That Virginia Giuffre was happily married, had met a boy in Thailand, and they had moved to Australia, and they had let it go. They'd all settled out of court. They got their paychecks from Epstein, and everything was fine. Until Hillary Clinton dug it all back up, trying to smear Donald Trump back in 2015. That's what you're going to find. You see, it isn't really about the jet. It's not about the jet. The Gulfstream 550, the Lolita Express, all that. It's about the boat. The what? But what are you talking about, the boat? It was a boat logs. What are you, boat captain logs? Yeah, you need to see the boat captain logs. Because there's a problem with the story that nobody is getting. There's a problem with the story. It's not about the jet that nobody's getting. Dad, what if they find out about the boat? Dad, you said it. You said if we ended him in prison back in 2019 when you were still president, up in New York, if we got rid of him, that this would go away. And here it is, 6 years later, Dad. Why don't we take a quick peek at what we're really talking about with the Trump princess? That's right. Trump's huge mega yacht that carried, you ready for this? 136,000 gallons of fuel to power two 3,000 horsepower engines. Now, that's a hell of a range, wouldn't you say? Maximum speed of 20 knots. You see, here's the problem. The reason it's not about the plane. In fact, the plane was sold, by the way. Here's the interior of the plane. Holds about 14 people. The boat, just under 60, I believe. 60 people on the boat. But here's the problem. You see, here is the British Virgin Islands. Of course, the main island right here. And here is Little St. James Island. Lolita Island or whatever they call it. Let's look at this in 3D. See, here's the problem. You ready for this? Here's the problem. That jet is a Gulfstream G550 with a landing distance of 2,770 feet. This island is barely 3,000 feet long, and there are no runways. There are no runways. The island at its longest point, from the very rocky tip here to the where the house is here, is about 2,900 feet. In fact, there are no runways on Epstein's other island either, Greater St. James Island. There's no runways. So there's no way he could have flown anyone directly to the island. Guess where he would have had to go? Right, he would have had to fly in way over here. He would have to fly into, more than likely, Cyril E. King Airport with that big old jet. Or there's another option. You ready for this? Here is Little St. James Island. Let's draw ourselves a line to some place that I'm sure you haven't heard of. We're going to draw a line to another place. Way over here. And I say way over here, figuratively speaking. Only about 4 hours away. You know what this is? At 97 nautical miles away? That's right. It's the Trump Le Chateau de Palmières. Now, how many of you knew that Trump had a private mansion, not Mar-a-Lago, on St. Martin that was one interrupted 4-hour boat ride away from Lolita Island, from Pedo Island, from Epstein Island? How many of you knew that? Just a 4-hour boat cruise, 136,000 gallons of fuel, 3,000 horsepower engines, and a helicopter. There's no place to dock it. There's no place to dock it. Yep. It has a helicopter. Can anchor it. And believe me, plenty of places to put a helicopter down here. Now does it make sense? See, here are some pictures from that massive mega yacht, the Trump Princess. Oh, and look, Nassau in the Bahamas. Huh, imagine that. Sold now to a Saudi prince. Always pictures of young girls. This is Ivana, the senior, Ivana, his first wife. Look up the Trump Princess yacht. You'll find some very interesting facts. Facts that I think Pam Bondi might not want you to know about. Because it would make her boss look very, very, well, sheepish. Or cowish. How many of you also heard the even better news? Florida Monkey, what in the world are you showing? What in the world are you showing? Well, real simple. The new Undersecretary for the Navy. What? Haven't you seen? Trump tap hardliner Hung Kao for Navy number 2 role. Former congressional candidate called for military of alpha male and female, willing to rip out own gut, eat and ask for all-you-can-eat buffet. Yes, that's right. We're making America great again. We're making America great again by making the number 2 at the Navy, the Undersecretary of the Navy, Hung Kao. Hung Kao. Donald Trump endorses Hung Kao for Senate. There you go. MAGA. Let's make America great again. I don't know, guys. What do you think? Am I being too hard on the guy? I mean, those of you who watched the video over at the Florida Monkey Patreon channel yesterday, putting it all together now with the boat, putting it all together now with the massive boat. Now does it all fit? You see, the part that I didn't cover was that Epstein's plane, while perhaps landing here at, the British Virgin Islands with one airport, has two airports that it could land at. St. Martin. There's the Dutch side of the island, and then there's the American side of the island. Wouldn't that be interesting if the plane was landing at the Dutch side, where we wouldn't have access to the records? If the plane was landing at the Dutch side, where Trump could then land secretly, privately, hop into his little boat, take a quickie sail over to Trump Le Chateau de Palmiere, his huge, as big if not bigger than Mar-a-Lago estate at St. Martin, and then take himself a little Gilligan's Island 3 to 4 hour tour in a straight line, uninterrupted, not a single island in between, and land right here at Little St. James. Sounds like a billionaire thing to me. Don't you notice how now they're changing the complete take on this? Oh, it's all pedo. Here's something I need everyone to write down. Underage is a subjective term. Write that down. Underage is a subjective term. Minor is a legal term. Minor is a legal term. And child is an objective term. So we got three things to write down. You see, you can be a 20-year-old adult and be underage when it comes to, things that require you to be 21, right? How many things can you name that you need to be 21 years old to do? See, a 20-year-old adult can also be underage. So to accuse somebody of underage girls, this underage girls, that underage girls, the other, could be talking about 20-year-old girls, depending on what it is. Minor is a legal term. To say somebody is a minor, once again, is a legal assessment of the same thing. Underage is not a legal girl. Not an underage girl is not a legal term. It's a subjective term. But child is an objective thing that can be determined by a doctor. The difference between child and adult is biological and factual and objective. So those are the three terms that are getting conflated, that are getting muddied and mixed up. And that's why Pam Bondi can't say much. She can't say much because she could put the government and herself and her office in legal peril in a heartbeat if she would use the wrong term or make any kind of allegation that might lead people to believe that this person or that person or this other person might have engaged in something that could have possibly been. The civil lawsuits would break the federal government. It'd be in the tens of billions of dollars. That's why she has to shut up. And this is what Patel and Bondi can't tell everybody. We can't even get close to the idea of putting out information that might lead people to believe that some people might have been engaged in any kind of activity unless we have the evidence. Unless we have the evidence. And if you're going to get into the game of rolling out all of the evidence for the public, when you flip open that lid, when you dig that hole and you flip open that lid, you're not going to like what you see. The smell is going to knock you off your feet. So once again, I will leave it there. Join us, Florida Monkey Patreon channel. Love to have you. God bless. Pray for each other. Pray for me. I'll pray for you. Lift each other up. Like, share, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.